We're headed into the next phase of class warfare, a much more dangerous one, and if we don't make some dramatic changes quickly, it could be really hard to come back from. I started thinking about this when I heard Brene Brown talk about being in rooms with some of these tech billionaires and the way that they talk to normal people versus the way they talk to each other. When people come up and ask, what can my kids do to be successful like you? Usually they're playing down the importance of college education, saying that it's expensive and unnecessary, telling them to have their kids study computer science online, become self-taught, take risks, start a business, learn AI. Yet when these guys are talking to each other about what they did to get where they are and how they're continuing to grow, they're talking about what they're reading. They're talking about the Stoics. They're talking about scholarship and growth and academia. And they're talking about internal work, what they're reading psychologically, what they're doing, how they're working on themselves in that way. And so two new classes are emerging versus just wealthy and poor. We're seeing the emergence of a thinking class and a scrolling class. A reading class and a streaming class, a writing class and an AI prompting class. Critical thinking is becoming a luxury of the rich and powerful, and this is by design. The guys that develop these technologies know what they do to our brains and how they limit our ability to think for ourselves over time. That's why when Steve Jobs was asked if his kids loved the iPad, he said they didn't have one. People don't understand that all of these things are connected. The censorship of public education, banning books, the war on colleges, and the rollout of these AI technologies that make it easier for us to not think our own thoughts. All of that is designed to make us more docile and easier to control. Forming your own opinions, deciding what you think and finding the evidence to back it up, that's a skill that can be lost very easily. Obviously, we can talk about that on a societal level, but let's stay on the individual for right now. What have you been reading lately? How often have you been letting AI think for you or speak for you? When was the last time you had a deep, intellectual conversation with a friend? If we don't prioritize these things, we will lose them. There's a billion-dollar industry dedicated to making sure we do.